Hello, and welcome back to Pop Culture Graveyard. I am Hollis. With me, as always, is Dave. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Hollis.
I am very excited for this week's episode. We are tackling, as you know, my favorite television show of all time, Columbo.
Spent some bank on a high-powered jumbo. Rolled up a wooly and I watched Columbo.
Nice. Immortalized in lyric form by
The Beastie Boys.
The Beastie Boys.
Anytime one of your pastimes aligns, even one of your, like, if you remember the commercials, they remember, you know, you're cool. You're like, I know Phil Rizzuto, I know Columbo, I know, it's like you're in a good place.
Yeah. I'm so excited about this episode that I'm wearing my Great Santini t-shirt.
Oh my God.
I have a t-shirt for the Great Santini, played by Jack Cassidy in the episode Now You See Him, Cabaret of Magic. I am a hardcore Columbo guy. I had all of the DVDs for years. My wife got me the entire Blu-ray set last year. I am just all on board with Columbo, and I'm so happy, Dave, that you have been enjoying the show.
I have been enjoying the show. Absolutely.
I love Columbo so much that I did an episode of Pop Culture Graveyard on Columbo, my favorite Columbo episodes. At the time, it's a testament to the show that my favorite episodes are always changing a bit.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah.
First off, a disclaimer. We couldn't possibly cover every Columbo episode, so we're going to try and focus mainly on a lot of the themes of Columbo, the character of Columbo, the different villains that may have popped up. We're going to skew a little favorably towards the few episodes that Dave has actually seen. We're going to try really, really hard to give you the Columbo feel, the Columbo groove, but it's not going to be as in-depth. But there were a few episodes that I was like, Dave, if you can only watch a few, watch this one, watch this one. If you have time, watch this one. What was your overall impression, Columbo-wise, rewatching or watching for the first time certain episodes this time?
I have a little trouble watching it as a show. I'm almost at a museum looking at old shows.
He is a legend.
Yeah. And I'm almost like just sort of browsing the show like a painting. I'm looking at so much. I mean, I'm looking at, like, the locations are so interesting. The cars are so interesting. The people, the clothes, the actors, this Great Santini guy. Oh my God. What'd you say his name was?
Jack Cassidy.
Jack Cassidy. Oh my God. Donald Pleasance. Oh my God. Just
Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash. Oh my God. I thought Johnny Cash did really well.
Johnny Cash was fantastic.
Yeah.
Swan Song is the episode with Johnny Cash.
Much better than I expected.
So good.
Yeah. I expected to see, like, a singer, like, sort of doing his best, you know? And everybody's like, it's okay, it's Johnny Cash.
You're right. On paper, it doesn't seem like Johnny could hang. But if you stop and think about it, Peter Falk, and especially Peter Falk as Columbo, was such an icon in the 70s. Johnny Cash was a big enough icon to stand toe-to-toe with him. Mm-hmm. And it didn't matter that he was in Peter Falk's, aka Columbo's, world. You know, you took them as equally powerful.
Right, yeah. It was Titans. Clash of the Titans.
Sometimes you would have a good villain, you know, a fine, serviceable actor, but they're blown out of the water by Columbo. You know, that's why you need a Ruth Gordon, a Robert Culp, Robert Vaughn. Some of these guys.
How often did these come out? Were they once a week?
There was something called the NBC movie wheel, and they would rotate Columbo, McMillan and Wife, McCloud, and it would be the mystery movie. And Columbo, of course, was far and away the biggest prestige show. So I guess it would come out once every 3 weeks, maybe.
That makes more sense to me, because I was like, wow. Not to mention, how do you find someone who could stand up to Columbo every week?
Yeah,
How do you pay people who can stand up to Columbo every
that
week?
was a problem. And finding good scripts was a problem. Because if you stop and think about it, how hard is it to get a fresh gotcha moment at the end of all of these and to have the right clues and to have the right, I don't know, set pieces? Like it's very tricky to make these all different and unique from each other and not
Yeah.
another one of like, oh, your fingerprints are on it. Like, come on.
Two of I think I watched four. I watched
Mm-hmm.
one a while back. Author. It was an author
Murder
of
by the book.
okay, and I watched very clever title. Any old port in a storm.
Wonderful.
Very
Donald
misleading.
Pleasance. Yes.
Yeah, and then Johnny Cash, Swan Song, and
Now you see him.
Now You See Him Is the Boat. No, Now You See Him Is
Oh,
Magic.
yeah, Troubled
Yeah,
Waters.
Troubled Waters. Okay, so I've four recently, and
Okay.
yeah.
For you, that is a marathon, my friend.
Oh yeah,
I'm aware. I'm grateful.
and I don't know if the audience is realizes, but they're not a half hour and they're not 40 minutes. They're movie length.
They had such a hit on their hands that they wanted to expand the amount of commercials you have, but also
Mm,
give breadth to these wonderful
yeah,
episodes. So there's some padding in certain episodes.
right.
Swan Song is one of them.
Oh my God, I think they do entire numbers. You know,
I'll tell you something though. I love the padding. And I used to be kind of two minds about it, but now I'm firmly in the camp of give me as much Columbo as you can.
right.
And you get things like him eating squirrel chili. The look on his face when he's surprised by that, and him calming down an upset Tommy Brown and then questioning him. You get a sense of his methodology,
Mhm.
and Columbo needing a moment to recover after being flown in a small plane. Him visiting a
Right.
recording studio and talking music and like taking an extra few seconds to find his pencil
The
before
thing
making
is,
notes.
sometimes it's an extra few seconds, and sometimes they're like, "Fuck it, give him a minute."
Yeah.
Like when he walks up to that chili spread at Johnny Cash's party, he says like, "Hey, that's quite a spread." And I'm like, huh, that's a funny little aside that he says it's quite a spread. And then he talks about it some more, and then some more. And then he asks a question about like, I'm like, "Oh, they're all in on the spread."
Some of my favorite moments are him eating. Him eating there, him eating in the Leonard Nimoy episode, A Stitch in Crime. Him eating is just fun. Him downing a hot dog occasionally. It's just, you know what? Little things like that, they create more of a worldview and you get more of a sense of Columbo's connection to the suspects, and it highlights his impressive social skills. At one point, Johnny Cash refers to him as, hey, little buddy. We buy it because we've seen him ingratiate himself incrementally,
Mhm.
whereas it wouldn't make sense and we wouldn't feel like he's lowered his defenses towards Columbo enough if he didn't work his way in there.
He befriends all of his suspects, right? I mean, is that
Almost all of
always
them.
or just the ones I saw? Yeah.
No, he does it a lot. And there are some, like Any Old Port in a Storm, where he really likes the villain. They get along great. They love each other. And it,
Yeah.
it kills him to have to arrest this guy.
He
But
gives him the last bit of wine and the
yeah, it's so
yeah.
sweet. But the few times that he actively dislikes a villain are magical.
Oh
Leonard
yeah.
Nimoy gets both barrels. He
Okay.
screams at Leonard Nimoy. George Hamilton, he does not like. Louis Jourdan, in one of the last Columbos of the 70s, he despises and enjoys catching him in, and actively says to him, I don't like anything about you.
Right. Nice. What a horrible thing to hear from Columbo.
From Columbo, he says to him, like, I respect your skills, I respect your mind, but other than that, I don't really love anything about you. Yeah, so it works well. Him giving impromptu speeches add to it. Like he gives an impromptu speech at a women's club in the Ruth Gordon episode. It reveals a lot about him, as well as him and her talking about their meager upbringings and how he grew up poor. And there's another one, the George Hamilton episode. He's at a party, and these other people at the party are like, "Oh my God, a homicide detective! Tell us about." Like they wring it out of him. What do you, what's
that like?
What case is your most fascinating? And he goes, "I think my most fascinating case is the one I'm working on at the moment. At any time, he gives you magic."
Yeah.
And that's why I like the longer episodes. And they went anywhere from an hour and a half to an hour 50 they played with the time, but they definitely gave him a lot of room.
They're ahead of the curve on that. Nowadays, you watch an episode of a show, some are 30, some are 48. They're like, we just use the amount we need. In a way, I feel like the Columbo is doing that too. They're like, this is how much we need. We're not going to cut it to the perfect.
Yeah.
But also is like, you know what? Colgate dropped out. So stop at 128.
Yeah. Yeah. You also get great guest appearances by smaller part actors like Vito Scotti, who plays the Italian in everything. One of his best supporting roles is as an industrious undertaker in the Johnny Cash episode. He's trying to sell Columbo on funeral plans and a plot.
Oh yeah, they gave him a whole thing.
Chunk.
Yeah.
And you can tell that Peter Falk himself is so tickled by Vito's performance that he uncharacteristically is smiling through most of it. He comes back at least 2 times I can think of. He's a wino in the Dick Van Dyke episode. He's an Italian.
He's like a minstrel Italian. It's like
he is very
so stereotypical.
Yeah.
Columbo apparently loves just leaning into the fact that people have all these preconceptions about Italians.
Yeah.
I can't sing. Can you believe it? Italian who can't sing.
Well, I should point out right now that we're talking primarily Columbo in the 70s. He later came back in the 80s and I believe in the 90s. But the 70s has that 70s magic, Dave.
I'm telling you, 70s.
That era is just magical. TV, movies.
Yeah. And I got to say, from the outside, I thought I knew what Columbo was, as probably anybody would. I get it. He's really good at his job, but he makes it look like he's bumbly. That's it. That's Columbo. You don't need to know anything else. It's easy to sell it short. It's so much more than that. His it's not stammering. It's hard to describe. It's repetitiveness. He's like you said, he'll look for. You would think that guy would have choose a place to put his pencil.
Yeah, he'd have a pocket.
Yeah, and he'd be like, I'm always going to put my pencil there, and I'm never going to have this problem again. No, I'm going to not find a pencil every time. And I think it's a combination of A, I actually can't find my pencil, and B, things seem to work out better if I can't find my pencil. I am going to let them judge me as not a threat based on my missing pencil. But I also don't know where my pencil is.
Yeah, you hit on something really important, is that the entire rumpled nature of Columbo, the faux absent-mindedness, and sometimes genuine absent-mindedness, he has found works for him in a weird way, and he trusts it, and he leans into who he is. He's a very self-actualized person, and he lowers the inhibitions and expectations of everyone around them to the point where it's almost like, we did Almost Famous, and it's like, you can talk in front of him, he won't write it.
Yeah. It's very much that.
He's got that kind of, he's inner circle very quickly, because they're like, you know what? I'm going to keep this little guy around me and I'll find out what he knows.
Right. This is perfect. This is the in on the cops I need.
They reveal way more about who they are than Columbo does.
One of the reasons I know that he's not pretending, that he may be leaning into it, but he is certainly not pretending.
Yeah.
it was very surprising to me that when he went on the cruise for Troubled Waters, he was with his wife.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, Columbo's wife. Here we go. Here we go. Columbo's wife. And I knew in the back of my head, I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. You could never do that casting.
They hide her so well. It's a shell game.
Yeah. You could never commit to someone to be Columbo. It would be the worst thing you ever did for that show.
Yeah.
Anyway, however, the closest you get to her is he talks to her on the phone. On one of the ships. Is it a boat? Is it a ship? A ship, a boat. But he talks to her and he's like, I've been all over the ship looking for you. I don't know if you're on the L deck. Is it L deck? Lido deck?
Yeah.
I don't. So here he is talking to his wife. He knows she didn't kill anybody. But here he is, stumbling and bumbling through where should we meet up?
Right.
But he can't organize his thoughts. And that's talking to his wife. So
yeah, you're right.
That's who he is.
It's very telling. Also, I'm reminded of one episode, and I forget which episode it is now, but he's talking about how when he started on the force, there were so many guys smarter than him, and they had all kinds of degrees. But I figured if I worked harder, put in the time, read all the books, that I could do all right. And that's what you see in every episode. You see someone methodical. Mm-hmm. And even when he talks about, that thing that he can't turn off, he has these little euphemisms for his hunches and for his kind of impulses. He always downplays himself to other people. He's like, gets like a traffic jam up here. And another time he says, it's like a marble rolling around in there. Like he has all of these he denigrates that impulse, but it's like, it's his gift. It's the little light that he can't turn off. It comes on and I can't turn it off, he said. And that is why he's a goddamn lieutenant.
Mm-hmm. Or in Troubled Waters, he's not just a lieutenant. He's a lieutenant. I was like, oh, nice. Because the ship is actually a British port. And so everyone who works on it calls him lieutenant. And I'm like,
I love that.
Good.
He hears lieutenant again in the British episode that they do. He goes to London.
I kind of wanted him to like raise an eyebrow and be like, lieutenant, I like that.
Yeah.
It's got a nice ring to it.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. Classy. Patrick Macnee from the Avengers plays the captain.
There were two major players. There was the captain, but there was also the heavyset guy who was like a Star Trek player or something.
He's in The Great Escape, that guy.
Oh, okay.
He's one of them. And
isn't he didn't he have a handlebar mustache in some movies and stuff? Yeah.
He also plays Dirk of the Yard in the British episode of Columbo. It's like a detective exchange program, if you can believe it.
Nice. Oh, right. That makes perfect sense, actually.
Yeah.
I could totally see that. Oh, we do that different.
Yeah.
And, is that how you do that there? Yeah.
Fox, maybe his name? I forget. But
he was terrific.
He's terrific, yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, Robert Vaughn as the villain is just Mr. Danziger. He kills the singer.
Yes. Oh, such a classic 70s style guy.
And Dean Stockwell from Quantum Leap plays the kind of boyfriend of the singer who's on the outs with her.
That was Dean Stockwell. I didn't recognize him because of his
big crazy hair.
Yeah, which Columbo just mentioned. Oh, you wouldn't have missed him. He got crazy hair.
Yeah, he's in another Columbo, I think The Most Crucial Game with Robert Culp. So yeah, it's just a cavalcade of great actors and actresses, some of whom are from, the golden age of Hollywood, the 40s and 30s.
I got a little glimpse while getting my glimpse into Columbo's world. I got a glimpse into Hollis's world.
How so?
And that is, if you watch two things, let's say you watch a movie and a TV show, you would think you know all about the movie and all about the TV show. But sometimes those things compound to tell you things you did not realize. And I'll give you an example. In Halloween, Donald Pleasance is toning it down.
Yeah.
Holy cow, that guy is crazy.
An exciting meal has been ruined by the presence of this liquid filth.
Oh my God, that guy's out of his mind. Oh, and he decides to kill his brother on a dime. That was crazy.
I tell you, I wanted to kill his brother, though. You know, we talked about this in Taxi Driver last week, where you have the gentle guy, you have the Albert Brooks, and then you have the Travis Bickle. You know, and in this episode, it's almost like they're reversed. Like the big muscular,
he drives the gentle guy to kill him.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's such a twist, and you pull for him because you see the way he treats him.
He's genuinely a good guy.
But for that one thing,
they present it in several ways. He's totally dedicated to the wine, 100% dedicated, not to the wine, to the vineyard that the wine comes from. His wine, his family's wine, not that swill from O'Malley.
The Marino Brothers.
The Marino Brothers, yeah. I like Marino Brothers because they make the Italian ices.
Oh yeah, Marino's Italian ice.
Yeah. But not just that. Like, even when he's being a pompous wine guy, he says, "I'm kidding. I looked at the label."
Yeah.
Like, he's not even a pompous wine guy entirely.
No.
Yeah, he's a decent dude.
You know, that episode, Any Old Port in the Storm, which is occasionally my favorite episode, it highlights one of my favorite things about the Columbos. And it's when Columbo and the killer genuinely like each other, the entire show gets elevated. Like, we enjoy seeing Columbo go after dastardly people and bring them down. But there's no joy in that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a joy in this where, like, and it's a credit to Donald Pleasance's performance, where even when he does this thing, and the killing is not like a horrible killing, it's an impulse killing that he quickly almost regrets. He's like, Rick. But then he's like, all right, fuck it, I did it. And he doesn't even feel remorse. And yet, we like him. We like him in spite of ourselves. That's the best villain. Darth Vader's cool.
Yeah.
You don't care. Yeah, be bad. You're bad. Whatever. I still love you.
Back in the day when I was making Star Wars t-shirts, I made one that said, "Don't be a Vader hater." Like, Darth Vader's all right. He's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing about any old port in a storm. You know how I used to talk about, or I have mentioned, how these science fiction books sound like they have highfalutin titles, and then you find out it's just literally describing the plot.
Yeah,
like a mote in God's eye. You're like, wow, I wonder what that's about. Oh, it's about a tiny speck in a section of space called God's eye. It's like, God damn it, that all it is? Yeah. Any old port in a storm is literally about an old port and a storm, an old port wine and a rainy day. Like, that's any old port in a storm. I love how just obvious it sounds like, ooh. And it's like, no, it's not that. Not that.
We talked about the padding. Columbo walks around trying to find if it rained last Thursday. Or it rained last Wednesday for like an hour.
He calls for the weather. He calls the weather line. And
calls his wife.
Oh, you don't do that? You don't do previous weather?
Yeah.
Just current weather? Just upcoming
he asks the
weather?
Room. He asks his wife.
Calls?
He calls.
Can I get everyone's attention? Unreal. Unreal. I also enjoyed him trying to lose the new jacket through an entire episode.
That's a great one. That's the Cabaret of Magic episode with Bob Dishy as his like sidekick.
Right. Who has played that role more than once?
Detective Wilson.
I was about to say something about Any Old Port in a Storm. Oh, I wanted to say that you love the joy between the two of them actually liking each other.
Mm-hmm.
As Columbo would in any situation, he learns about wines. I would be blown away if, like, an actual New York City detective, like, or California, whatever, LA,
learning something.
Like, oh, a magician. You think a magician did it? Have you visited a magic store? It's like, why would I visit a magic store? It's like, to learn about magic.
It's logical.
Yeah, and I love that about Columbo.
Yeah,
So
it's
Columbo
true.
learns about wine, but Columbo is genuinely, sincerely trying to impress Donald Pleasance with his knowledge of wine. And he
Yeah.
is genuinely touched when Donald Pleasance goes, look at you.
Yeah.
Well, oh my God, like you're doing really well. Good job, buddy. Good job.
When he says to him, "You learn very well, Lieutenant," he says, "That's the nicest thing anybody ever said to
Anyone's
me."
ever said to me. Yeah.
It's
You know what?
so
That's the
sweet.
nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. Yeah.
And I love how Columbo learns about wine. He asks around, and they're like, "Oh, that guy at that wine store, he knows more than anybody." And he goes to him, and he's like, "Can you teach me everything?" He's like, "Oh, it
How long
took
you
me
got?
many years to learn my expertise." He's like, "What can you do in an hour and a half?" Ah, brilliant. I just want to mention Johnny Cash, just sing his praises for a little bit. Johnny pushing a tree trunk over, trying to shove the parachute up it, and making you believe it's really heavy is some of the best acting in the entire series.
That was very good.
And Tommy Brown, that character, is such a great character. And he's another one, the likable villain. You know, you should never kill anyone, let alone two people.
Right.
But when someone's being blackmailed, our beloved Bill Shatner is blackmailed in his episode, and so he kills someone. When someone is kind of pushed to the brink, you feel, you give them a little bit of a pass. Tommy Brown's character, like, he gives the plane attendant a tip. Here's this guy being bled by this woman standing over him. Every single dime he makes has to go to the crusade. And he tells this kid to return his car. Here, why don't you drive around and impress your girl? And here's a tip. He gives him money. He has no money, and he gives a tip. I'm like, I like Tommy Brown.
I think the writers get that it's more than just to blackmail the person. It's to blackmail the person, denying them the thing they're denying them their dream. They're denying Donald Pleasance his dream of providing the world with the best wine and being the best vineyard. And they're not denying Johnny Cash, Tommy Brown.
Tommy Brown.
They're not denying him getting on stage and singing, but getting on stage and singing is not his love. His love was the success. He wanted the success of being a star, and they're denying him something he deserves. I think that's what it is. The blackmail is denying them something they deserve. Donald Pleasance deserves the success of the vineyard. Tommy Brown deserves to be a rock star, or a country star in this case, or a country gospel star or whatever. I love that Sunday Morning is throughout the episode.
Wishing, Lord, that I was stoned.
I had that song stuck in my head. Every time I hear that song, it gets stuck in my head, but I had it stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Whenever I have that song stuck in my head, I wonder, is it as good as everyone said? Like, it's the fried chicken can that he was kicking thing always sticks in my craw. Always sticks in my craw.
Well, you know, Johnny's one of those guys, man. Everything he does is good. Like, he's an entertainer in the old school. You know, he's one of those Sun Records guys.
It's a Chris Christopherson song, as a matter of fact, who we mentioned last week.
Yeah. Well, Johnny, he is a great purveyor of other people's work, too. He got into this thing where he was just like, Bob Dylan is the greatest songwriter. And then he was doing Bob Dylan songs for a while. Where he's like, John Sebastian from the Love and Spoonful is a great writer. And then he was doing like, he hooks onto, and that's why it's not a stretch for him to do Nine Inch Nails.
Exactly. I was going to say that
Danzig.
No different. Trent Reznor is no different.
Yeah.
Like, he read the lyrics to, what's the one everybody loves about addiction? Hurt. Apparently, what's his name? The Beastie Boys guy. I'm terrible at this.
Yeah.
Why did you hire me?
Rick Rubin.
Rick Rubin showed him the lyrics to Hurt.
You ran unopposed.
Rick Rubin shows him the lyrics to Hurt, and I believe the quote was, he said, "This guy's reading my mail." Like, wow. I would have written this. Obviously, like, that shows a very healthy ego.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy wrote songs better than me. I want to sing his songs. Like, terrific. Do it, man. It's great.
That's it for Johnny Cash. I promise.
No, no, we might get back on
We
Johnny
might get
Cash.
back on Johnny, but we're going
Hold
to
on, I'm gonna
expand
find
it.
out. Okay.
Alrighty.
Let's sort of look, at what I did see. Are you familiar with there's a place in California that I visited once called the Magic Castle?
Yeah, sure.
That was vaguely reminiscent of
The Cabaret of Magic.
the Cabaret of Magic. Um, it was like that. It was like there we go, the cat. Yeah. There's, isn't there a movie called The Great Santini? And isn't it nothing like that?
Yeah, Robert Duvall. Nothing like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
He's my favorite Great Santini for sure. Jack Cassidy.
You know who he reminded me of a little bit? Something like it's a reverse thing. It's not like he reminds me of someone like who came before him. He reminds me of someone who came after him. He reminds me of Lieutenant Dangle. I think Tom Lennon.
Oh, Thomas Lennon. Yeah.
Yeah, the actor comedian.
Yeah.
He could play him in a remake of the Great Santini
Oh, yeah.
episode. Yeah, he would.
Ironically, Jack Cassidy's Great Santini is a better father than Robert Duvall's Great Santini,
Even as a Nazi.
even as a Nazi.
Yeah, it's with the Nazi angle. It is weird that that's what they're blackmailing him with.
I love it, Dave. I
Yeah.
love it because this motherfucker reinvented himself. And
Hmm.
yet, in the 70s, the whole Nazi hunting thing was really heating up,
Right.
and you had like Marathon Man deals with an escaped Nazi. Yeah, The Boys from Brazil, the great Ira
Hmm.
Levin
That I'm
novel
familiar
and
with. Yeah.
movie about Mengele. You had like real life Adolf Eichmann and Mengele, and like people were looking for these guys. So it was timely. And I like the way it flipped it on its head because it's like when you do find these ex-Nazis, you're going to be surprised. They're not going to be sitting somewhere with a swastika on and like, listening to old German records. They're going to be pretending to be a classy European magician out in California, headlining with a gorgeous daughter. And
Yeah. And they rose in the ranks back in the day. So they're rising in the ranks in their new persona.
yeah,
Like, yeah. But that was
scary.
one where someone was being blackmailed, but not his black. Well, you know what? Johnny Cash was under it was with underage girl, and he
Yeah.
was a Nazi. I mean,
Yeah, there are things wrong with these people.
yeah,
They are flawed.
they are fuck ups.
But you know what? The funny thing is, the villain in this episode, the Great Santini, is not the most unlikable character. It is the guy who he kills, the victim, Jesse Jerome. This is a guy who's killed, and automatically there's like 1,000 suspects. No one liked this
Right.
guy. He goes to that magic shop that you referenced, and the
Yeah, and
guy
he goes, "Oh,
working
that
there,
fucking guy."
that guy who's awesome, that guy hated him.
Columbo's like another suspect.
Yeah.
Maybe it was this guy.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's great. Ah,
and that guy,
Jesse, to know him was to despise him, or whatever he says.
yeah, yeah, he says something like that. Yeah, and one of the reasons that like he uses the guy's sweat to help solve his murder
Oh,
he knew it was a high back chair because of the sweat.
hmm.
Were you just sitting in a chair? Were you just where were
Yeah.
you sitting?
Very
Stuff like that is
Wilson, this guy was just sitting in a chair.
yeah.
Like, where were you sitting? Yeah, I was sitting here. He's like, take this down. Yeah, just the way that they work at like they turn a big office into a smaller office. They get down to where the guy was. They show you a victory for Wilson. And through the whole episode, through every episode he shares with Wilson, he's like, oh, this guy. And he kind of suffers Wilson throughout them.
Mm,
But in this one, I love it. Wilson gets a little dollop of respect from Columbo.
uh,
He sees his typing ability. He touch types with his eyes closed. And he's like, very good, Wilson. And Wilson is just, from his hero, he gets that compliment and he's walking on air. It's great.
I'm with Columbo on the IBM Ball typewriter.
So
There was a
golf ball.
comedian who did an impression of it,
Oh, yeah.
who was terrific. He used his fist to do an impression of it.
Mm.
But the first time I saw one of those, I spent like 15 minutes in front of it, just watching it closely and pushing keys and being like, wow, it spins the globe in enough time to get the letter down, pull back, be ready for the next letter. You can't out type it. It's
Yeah.
faster than you. You can out-type a classic typewriter, but you can't out-type this ball.
It doesn't have a carriage. It doesn't
It has
need
no
to like,
carriage. There's not all these arms reaching out. It's just this one ball, boom, 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 and beating the shit
yeah,
out of the paper.
yeah.
It's a beautiful machine. And Columbo, I was like, I think that's impressive too, Columbo.
Hmm.
He looks in, he goes, "What the heck?" He's like, "What the heck is this?"
I think one of the great things about Columbo is that it walks a fine line between TV series and movies. They eat like a meal each episode.
Mm-hmm.
You get satisfied, you get a whole movie length with this character that you love.
Yeah,
And it warrants it because they're so well plotted. The genius of Columbo is that in a world of whodunits on TV and in movies, this is not a whodunit. It's a
it's
how's he going to
absolutely
catch
not.
him,
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
absolutely never a whodunit.
It is, I should
Oh,
say
it may
there's
be at times. Right, right,
Last
right.
Salute to the Commodore is a whodunit. There's like a couple of episodes that you honestly don't know quite who the real killer is till the end, but it's very rare. Mostly it's just you tell people, you give them the murder, you let the people watch it, and then you see this detective that knows way less than you as an audience member,
Mhm.
and you're so proud of him as he slowly gets to where you are.
Yeah. And there's other things to guess. In a whodunit, you'll be each character they introduce, you wonder, is it him? And I have a problem with watching whodunits on television, television especially, but also in movies, is the level of the actor gives away who did it.
Yeah, you're not going to
Um,
hire that guy unless he's the bad
right.
guy.
He's someone.
Yeah.
There's no way you're trying to trick me by spending
Hmm.
that much money. But there's also like the level of their acting. If they're good actor, or even if they're good in this episode, bad acting can seem like lying and can really throw off the story. It's like, oh, I totally thought that guy did it, but not because it was because he was a bad, his acting was
Yeah.
bad.
Also, another thing that works like that is the red herring thing, where you're like, oh, it looks like it's this guy. And then you're like, yeah, but there's a half hour left. It's not that guy.
Time can change it, right?
Time can change it.
What I was trying to get at though is the red herrings of Columbo are how is that food done so quickly? Oh, I cooked it in a microwave. A microwave? What is a, you know, and you're like, oh, how does the microwave play into this?
Yeah.
And then later you find out it doesn't.
Yeah.
There are red herrings that are just Columbo being an inquisitive, interesting person.
And it underlines the fact that success or triumphing over something is seldom linear. There's this circuitous path that we all take
Mhm.
to get what we want, to go where we want, to achieve something, or to figure out something. And Columbo takes it. It's almost like it's the video equivalent of the Family Circus cartoon, where you see the
The
little kids'
dotted line.
footprints on the dotted
Yeah,
line going
yeah.
throughout. And it's like, where were you? I was just outside. And meanwhile, he went a mile. That's Columbo's path. And the red herrings sometimes are necessary for him to get where he needs to go.
Yeah. It's very often at the end of a dead end that the next road presents itself.
Hmm.
He's like, well, that's it. Then I don't know. That's it. I'm out.
Yeah.
And he goes to leave, and someone says, man, it's terrible. He was a great athlete. Did you say he was a great athlete?
Yeah, no, the one more thing is just
Mm,
magical.
yeah, I mean,
And
that's not going to
that's
be our
something
quote,
that
but
no, that's something that Columbo had. Jessica Fletcher in Murder She Wrote, which is another
mhm,
Levinson and Link touch show. Even back in Mannix, another Levinson and Link. There's that thing of like the detective is doing something wholly unrelated to it, and someone, a coworker, a friend, will mention something, and it will spark some sort of thing in their mind. They'll have a eureka moment. And those are the payoff is so big with Columbo because you've watched him stammer around for an hour and a
yeah.
half right up until that. It's golden.
Yeah, it's really enjoyable. And it's often the person hanging themselves.
Oh,
Uh
that's the
yeah,
best.
yeah.
I in the Pop Culture Graveyard episode that I did on my favorite Columbo episodes, I said that I just want to send a message to all Columbo villains and or suspects. Quit doing too much.
Right, right. Shut up.
Stop it. Why are you helping? Like,
It's very often a case of ego. I'm sure I'm smarter than this guy. And he doesn't even have to be the doddering fool.
mhm,
They think they're smarter than everyone. The great Santini thinks he's smarter than everyone.
yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna totally get away with this because nobody's as smart as me.
Because he's already evaded capture for 25 years.
I mean, he has a right to feel like he can get away with shit.
Yeah.
Not even that impressive of a magician, if I'm honest. Lot of really simple sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
And I don't
trap
know how
doors.
that plays in the back room. What is it, like 12 tables up front?
Yeah.
Like, come
Yeah.
on. The greatest thing about Columbo is watching him joust with the villains. And there are some villains I just want to bring up that are magical. Smiling Jack Cassidy. He's the bad guy at least three times. Robert Culp is the villain a few times. Robert Vaughn is great. I love Ruth Gordon, who plays like a mystery writer. Leonard Nimoy is
I did
fantastic.
not know there was, I can't believe you didn't ask me to watch a Nimoy
I'm
episode.
sorry. Yeah, A Stitching Crime is the name of that one. He is so unlikable in it. It's wonderful. You know, there's
Uh,
a Leonard Nimoy episode. We're both big Star Trek guys, and there's a William Shatner episode. And
mm,
William Shatner plays a TV detective who
ah,
kills a blackmailer. Not only is William Shatner in that as Detective Lucerne, but Chekhov is in that
I was
episode
gonna
as
guess Scotty.
one of the
Yeah.
lesser detectives. Yeah. So yeah, I would put both of those on your list because they're good ones.
In the time that these were being made, if you were getting a villain role on Columbo, you made it, right? I mean,
Yeah, this was the
you were
kind of
there
thing.
because you made it. It wasn't going to make you. It wasn't like
No,
being a criminal on Barney Miller.
no way.
This was you're jousting with Columbo because you've made it.
Yeah, this was one
Yeah.
where people's agents were contacting Columbo. My client would love to do the show.
Right,
And it's like,
right, right.
really? I didn't know your client did TV. They'll do this.
Right, right,
It's a
right.
prestige show.
That's it. That's awesome. I love stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I don't know Falk. I mean, like I've never seen an interview with him.
Mm,
I've never seen him utter a word that wasn't on camera. But
mm.
I'm hoping that he was a nice guy.
All things I've heard about seem to speak to that.
I would say anything there is to hear about him or read about him
Yeah.
has gone through this, and he's come out fairly clean.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
vetted him for you,
Okay.
Dave. He's a good guy. One of the delicious things about episodes like the Detective Lucerne one with William Shatner, he's playing a TV detective, and there are producers on the show, one of which is murdered. So there are a lot of inside jokes. You know, Lucerne was holding out, Shatner's character was supposedly holding out for more money. That's what Peter Falk did. He
Oh,
was
okay.
like, he pulled the power move. He didn't show up on set when he was supposed to. And there was a whole thing like that. And you can't give him that money and all this. And there were little things like that within the show that are really delicious morsels when you know
Right.
the players. And it's a universal show. So in that episode, they're actually in the little Amity set with the Jaws shark that comes out of the water.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So that's nice. There's another, you get to see the prop room at Universal because he wants to talk to a prop man about something regarding a
Of
clue.
course. Yep.
You see the sets. I like anytime that a show supposedly has someone on set. There's another one with Ross Martin set in a TV studio because he does an art show. And you get to see cameramen that you know are the Columbo cameraman. You know,
Yeah,
that's great.
there's something great about when the plot ventures into a television studio and you're like everything they need is there. Everyone they need is there. You know, it came up when we were talking about the new Fall Guy movie. That scene where they're shooting the chase on the beach had to be so confusing. There had to be people who were like, run these cables up to B-side. Be like, I'm an actor, dude. Be like, oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, I saw you walking with apple crates. I figured like
Yeah,
that
no, it's
place
very meta.
had to be littered with actor filmmakers and filmmakers.
Yeah.
Um, and I love that. That's a good time.
I love shows within shows and
I
movies
could
within
also
movies.
I could also see, the guy who's making the movie walk like heading towards like where they're gonna shoot the next scene and overhear someone saying something and say, "Oh, have him say that. That's
Yeah,
what these guys say. I just heard him say it. That sounds real.
right,
Tell him to say
right.
that." Like that
Also,
that
yeah, you know what's funny is I love in these old shows, you can also feel when like, who was she dating? That's
right.
probably a producer's girlfriend, or,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
just a pal of the producer. Like,
See,
and
that's what I mean when I say I was watching the Columbos like a museum piece. Like
yeah,
I'm really watching it's hard for me to really like I am not in the moment. I'm not
mhm.
and it's going to be very hard. I could probably get there by watching a lot of them.
Yeah, where you
Yeah.
kind of get so used
Start
to
to
it.
not worry about like how interesting the making of it is. But I'm definitely watching it like a museum piece. Like as I was starting to say earlier, like, okay, they got a hold of this cabaret room and they're going to use the backstage and they're going to use the
Hmm.
floor and they're going to use the stage and they're going to use the
Hmm.
upstairs. And
Right,
then the boat,
right.
you get a hold of a boat, you get a hold of like a cruise line boat. You got your
Yeah.
whole episode. You got amazing locations for everything. You got ceiling height problems, but
This happened like I want to say three times. The cruise in troubled waters. There's another one where he does the exchange program in Britain, and the Mexican bullfight episode with
come
Ricardo Montalban.
on, of course. I could have guessed. You should have let me guess.
Yeah. And but those are three times at least that I can think of where the plot is just Columbo on vacation or Columbo goes
Right,
somewhere and a murder happens to have happened.
right,
Now, that's so rare in the Columbo world. That's basically every episode of Murder She
right.
Wrote, which went for
Exact.
10
Yeah,
years. Like they're never supposed to be murders. At least Columbo was a homicide detective. It makes sense. I love Troubled Waters just because you get to see him in like a Hawaiian shirt that's almost like the one Hawkeye would wear
right,
in
right.
MASH.
Yep, yep, yep.
But he's so methodical and looking for clues and stuff. I wonder about his wife's cruise. Like, who is she hanging out with? What is she up to while he's doing
Of
that?
all the clues that he's let go, when they bring up his wife, he's like, "Did she get in trouble? She gets carried away.
I
She
want
has
to
a she has a good time."
I want to party with Mrs. Columbo.
Yeah. I don't think we need to worry about if she's like, I'm so bored. My husband's not.
Yeah,
She's
you're
out there
right.
whooping it up,
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus, we're not seeing when he actually is with her. He spends plenty of time with her.
Also, I'll tell you what's great about that episode. And I'm sorry, we can only focus on so many episodes to people who are like, why don't you talk about this or that?
Yeah, yeah.
The great thing about Columbo is when there's something like this set on the ship, you get to see what a cruise was like in 1973 or 74 or
Hmm.
whatever. You get to see real life people on this because that was on a real ship, like Princess
Oh, you
Cruise
know it.
Lines.
You know it.
And
Oh,
there's like a costume party going on.
and they sold it. They sold it. They told those people, not only are you going to be on this particular cruise, but we're going to be shooting an episode of Columbo on this cruise, and
Yeah.
some of you will be in it. And they were like, "Yay!" But yeah, you totally find out stuff about the seven. You find out that on a 747 in 1970, there's a Farfisa organ, and people
Yeah.
lean on it while a pretty girl plays songs.
Oh,
Like
that's
that's in the
traveling.
yeah. Speaking of troubled waters, this guy, I forget his name. The guy
Robert
who
Vaughn.
Robert Vaughn. He did his homework. He did a great job of setting up a patsy, of faking his heart attack. The earliest mention of amyl nitrate that I'm familiar with. Um, all kinds of just amazing. He puts together the perfect crime, which really points to another thing that you feel a lot when you're watching, or I've felt in all five Columbos I've seen, is you would have gotten away with this. The only thing that thwarts any of these guys is the bad luck draw of getting Columbo as their detective.
Yeah.
Um, any other detective, any real world detective, forget it. The thing that gets them is the bad luck of and particularly bad luck when he's not even the detective on the case. He just happens to be on the boat.
Yeah, that's a short straw.
Because he was, you commit a crime on a boat, all the evidence is fouled and old by the time you get back to port, and
Hmm.
there's no real cops around. Nobody, people move things. No good pictures get taken. Columbo's there going, well, don't move anything. We got to take pictures. Don't do this. Don't do that. And that's all blowing this guy's very good plan.
Hmm.
Everyone I saw, I mean, obviously that's the conceit of the show, but
Yeah.
if not for Columbo, if not for these meddling kids, he'd have got away with it.
Yeah. Still can't believe Robert Vaughn tripped himself up like that at the end. He did it. He got away with it. And he only kept trying to point the evidence towards Dean Stockwell because Columbo was like, I'm going to stay at it. I'm not going to
Right,
quit. That's
right.
the way I'm built. If I'm Robert Vaughn, I'm like, yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah,
Stick
I
with it.
know,
Best of
right.
luck.
Right. But
Later.
he wants to hammer in the last nail himself, and it's like, no, don't stop
But that's
trying.
something that, like, even, being a real student of the Zodiac killer case that we
Mhm.
touched on a bit with that, Arthur Lee Allen, the chief suspect, was the only one who ever wrote Dave Toschi a letter and was like, sorry, I couldn't be your man, but if you need any help, like these guys want to help. They want to be
Mhm.
close. They want to know what the detective finds out. But it's like there's ways of doing it, and
Yeah,
they do too much. But
yeah. I
if they
mean,
don't, we don't have a show.
right, exactly. I mean, like you have to stop yourself and say, like, yeah, Dave, they got caught by Columbo. That's 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 why the show is called Columbo.
It's not called Vaughn.
Yeah.
Uh, Danzinger.
You know, it's not a procedural, right? It's not, I mean, it
I
has
mean, it is in a
elements.
weird way.
I think the point I want to make is that like Peter Falk is so enjoyable that you might say, I'm not into this kind of show. And be like, and you're able to say, you don't have to be.
Yeah.
You'll see. It's a
I
good time.
I think one of the cases I made was that it's not a cop show like you're used to. It's a drawing room mystery. It's an old Hitchcock film. It's a
Mm,
Miss Marple mystery. It's Hercule Poirot. It's a classic detective drawing room mystery, except we already know the mystery and the
yeah.
detective doesn't.
Also, there's money. Like, if I was watching Kojak and there was a helicopter shot of a car driving on a road along the Riviera, I'd be like, is it sweeps week? Like, where did
Yeah.
Kojak get a fucking helicopter from?
Ah,
But with Columbo, you get big shots, you get big sets.
yeah,
He's
because you
got
want to watch, he's such a little unassuming guy. You need to get big villains. You need people protected by their wealth and their
mm,
exclusivity and their elitism. You want all of the dominoes stacked against him. And you get that if he's, trying to prove a
oh
murder
yeah.
in Malibu or in Pacific
That's
Heights or
another
whatever.
that's another theme is the he's looked down upon. You can tell he's not rich. He's not poor, but compared to a lot of the circles he ends up doing business in, he's poor.
Yeah.
They give him a bad table
Yeah.
in any port in any old port in a storm. They give him a bad table, and Donald Pleasance comes in and berates them for giving him a bad table.
Hmm.
But they give him a bad table because he's he's not dressed right. He's smoking a stumpy cigar, and they're like, put him by the bathroom or
Yeah.
whatever. It's another way that rich people look down on him and underestimate him
He's
for
an
other
outsider.
reasons. Yeah, yeah.
Also, as an audience, you want to see rich people or elitist people taken down a notch.
When I want something out of rich people, I'll do that. I'll be impressed. I'll be, wow, look at that.
Mm.
what kind of car is that? You know, I know what kind of car it is, and it doesn't impress me, but I'll say, wow, what kind of car is that if I need something from that person, or if I'm
Yeah.
trying to get a job, or if things will just go smoother if they think I'm impressed with if their stuff is working.
Well, those people are so easy to play.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't
Yeah.
take much. So like why not do it? Why not say, "Oh, wow, what is
Well, you know
this?
what?
It's a Jaguar. What year? Wow."
Much like people who were born beautiful, they don't need to develop a personality. People who were born rich, they don't need to develop a personality. They don't face all the trials and tribulations that the rest of us do a lot of times. And
Yeah.
so there's this arrogance born of it and this getting away with it because I've always gotten away with it. And it's nice seeing somebody shoot holes in that, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like I said, there's more episodes in the 80s and the 90s, but to me, the hallmark of this show, the pinnacle of this show was, of course, the salad days of the 70s. And there were some people that did double duty, like Patrick McGowan, who was in The
The
Prisoner, that
Prisoner.
cool
Yeah.
show. He was in two episodes, By Dawn's Early Light and another one I can't remember the name of, where he plays a secret agent in the 70s. But he came back in like the early 90s or something playing a lawyer. Like there are people who were in both things. I think Robert Vaughn might have done that. But the 70s Columbo, it's a perfect show.
Hmm.
If Jaws is a perfect movie, Columbo is a perfect show.
I'll give you that.
So I'm glad that we got to enjoy it and to spend time with it. And I hope that you are going to continue, even if slowly, on your Columbo journey, at least with the Star Trek actor
Well, I've
episodes.
got Ruth Gordon, I got Nimoy, and I got Shatner. And you know
Oh,
what?
perfect.
Yeah, but you know what? I think I might change that to Shatner, Nimoy, Montalban.
Oh, yeah.
Throw Khan in there, you know. So
Yeah,
go for a full, go for a full
yeah.
Star Trek Columbo.
Columbo.
And we got Chekhov in one of those,
Yep.
so we're very. And you know what? There's no way that Patrick Doohan is not in something. Got to be in something.
He wasn't
Is
in the
that Scotty's
70s. That
name?
look. Yep,
Okay.
that's him, all right. Yeah.
I got to cross-reference an entire Star Trek
Yeah.
cast with every Columbo. That's the kind of thing that one of those AI programs might be good
Oh,
at.
God help it. That's all they're good for. Um,
Yeah.
all right. Well, thank you for joining us, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this, and we will see you.
Oh, one more thing.
Ah,
I'm just kidding.
you bastard. How great if you had one more
Oh, I
thing.
do have one more thing.
There it is. The Basset
Hey,
Hound.
yeah. The Basset Hound?
Oh, did any of the episodes you've watched have
No, none of
Columbo's
them had a
dog?
Basset Hound. No.
He's got a Basset Hound,
Oh, no, it did. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and the
Yes,
dog's
yes.
name, Dog.
Come
Because no
on.
names he uses, the dog doesn't come anyway.
Right. So it just goes
So,
with dog.
so there's your one more thing.
Okay, we may cut this, but I think what I want to say is I'm a victim of Sesame Street layoffs, and I'm a graphic designer. And if anybody needs any graphic design, just look at the Pop Culture Graveyard. I made everything for Pop Culture Graveyard.
Look
It
at these
looks lovely.
stellar graphic
Yeah.
designs.
And check out davehorowitz.com to see anything else I made. And check out,
DaveHorowitz.com.
and then there's dave.threadless.com to see my t-shirt designs. But if you need anything, let me know.
Awesome. Please
So there
do.
was one more thing.
There was one more thing. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, my friend.
All right. See you next time.
Hollis and Dave would like to thank you for enjoying Pop Culture Graveyard.